November event is back. In celebration of pros, we're offering special values on top tools to get any job done right. Head into Lowe's and check out the largest selection of DeWalt power tools and accessories. Right now, you can get a guaranteed tough DeWalt 20-volt max bear tool free when you buy a DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kit. Shop in-store or order online. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Valid through 1/5 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
Thankful for what?
Thankful for flooring.
S&G flooring.
I'm thankful for S&G Carpet's Thanks Flooring sale.
A play on words.
A sale on flooring.
Thank you for that.
Up to 20% off select flooring during this month's Thanks Flooring sale.
Including Karastan?
Including Karastan.
Up to 20% off Karastan. Thank goodness.
And
there's more?
20% off, and S&G will pay the sales tax.
Thank your lucky stars.
No, thank S&G Carpet. This month you can save up to 20% off select carpet, waterproof core, hardwood, and laminate, and S&G pays the sales tax.
Thanks flooring sale. Sounds like a holiday.
Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
During S&G Carpet's Thanks Flooring sale, save up to 20% off select flooring, even Karastan, and S&G will pay your sales tax. Plus, get their no surprise guarantee and promise to beat any written estimate by 10%.
S&G more than carpet.
Go to sgcarpet.com for the showroom nearest you or to have their mobile showroom come to you.
There's Black Friday sale. Get jaw-dropping deals on tires, brakes, oil changes, and more. Like buy 3, get 1 free on select in-stock Mesa tires when you pay installation. Hurry into Big O now through November 29th. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra. Required on all 4 tires. Not valid with other offers. Eligibility may vary. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 were permitted. See store for details.
Rayleigh's in Bel Air. We make holiday feasting more delicious and affordable. Take advantage of the week's best deals, like our Rayleigh's fresh, no antibiotics ever turkeys for only 97 cents a pound. Limit 1 per customer. Or get one of our Rayleigh's frozen basted turkeys for 57 cents a pound. Limit 1 per customer. You'll discover the same great prices when you shop Rayleigh's.com as you'll find in store at Rayleigh's in Bel Air.
Hi, this is Richard Morales of JJM Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660. I can pay cash and close fast. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location. I am not a realtor or associated with a realty company. I am a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind-in-payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junky houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 916-758-8660. That's 916-758-8660.
Hey, the broken Bunsen burner burns so bright. Southeast Asian Peninsula.
Hey, Jamie. Yes. I think the only line we need from you today is drivers who switch to Progressive could say big.
Cool. I just got to finish my warm-ups.
Foul, throw in the towel.
History.
Switch to Progressive today.
Santa ski slalom in a salmon skin suit.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
With Nissan at home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here.
It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Hey, good news. There's no wrong way to eat the new hand-breaded Tender Bites with star sauce from Carl's Jr. Delicious, bite-sized, 100% white meat chicken Tender Bites. You can munch, crunch, chomp, bite, nibble, snack, and savor any way you want. Just don't forget to dip them in our tangy sweet star sauce. Try our new hand-breaded Tender Bites however you want. Only at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Available for limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Price participation may vary.
Why'd the price go up?
I don't know. Did you change anything?
No. Did you? You switched us to those fancy coffee beans. Maybe you're on a roll, making everything more expensive. Did you suddenly inherit money you didn't tell me about?
Whoa.
If your internet bill is giving you trust issues, you're not a bad partner. You just need a straightforward price.
Maybe we switch to decaf.
Get AT&T Fiber. Equipment fees are included, and with no price increase at 12 months, there are no surprises. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/faster.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and your neighborhood grocery outlet wants to help you save big on your holiday turkey. This week, get an in-store coupon for $14 off a delicious 14 to 16-pound frozen Jennie-O turkey with a minimum $30 purchase. That's as low as 53 cents a pound. Make or C-store for details. Going on now to your local grocery outlet.
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C Sports. This is Charlton with Big C Sports, coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe. According to people who like sports, it's all fair and level on a beautiful November the 18th, 2021. Or is it actually the 17th? You know, sometimes you get so sleepy, you forget what day it is, but it's all fair and level one. I want to say welcome to the show. It's all fair and level one. Really do appreciate bringing you Big C Sports Podcast. So many people all around the world, they're paying attention to sports and what kind of sport they're going to play. But last night, on the 16th of November, we come to the 17th of November, Steph Curry was doing his thing over in Brooklyn. It's amazing. He actually got a standing ovation in Brooklyn. Can you believe that? Barclays Center? For him to get a standing ovation, I guess every time he came across half court, they wanted to see if he could shoot for a three. It's all fair level war. Steph Curry definitely doing his thing. And not everybody appreciates Steph Curry, but it's all fair level world. He will keep shooting the ball. And I'm going to tell you, today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, tell them that Big C Sports Center is all fair in level where I want to say you can follow Big C Sports all around the world on 18 podcast applications, from Google Podcasts, Alexa Podcasts, Spotify, Speaker Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeart-Radio-Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and now I got to catch my breath because I got to start exercising more. That's all fair and level where sometimes you got to catch your breath too when you count to 10. Also, you can follow Big C Sports on more podcasts with 18, Geo Savant Podcast out of London, England, Podtail Podcast, YouTube Podcast, Hubhopper Podcast, Stitcher Podcast, Radio Online Podcast, WePod Podcast, as well as Luminary Podcast. And then there's 4 TV applications: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. Yeah, that's great. All fair and level war. I really do love bringing Big C Sports Podcast to the universe. I love starting up with my family legacy from Mamo, the matriarch of the family. My great grandmother did everything she could to keep the family together through thick and thin. Really do appreciate that. And then my grandfather, Pop, he was a former Negro League baseball player. He was well known for making the best moonshine in the universe. Also for them, boy, get out of that barn. It's all there. And level word, really do appreciate that. And then my grandmother, her name, we called her Mud Deer. She was a seer. She could look at people and tell you things that are going to happen to them. Really do appreciate the knowledge that I got from her. And then my grandfather, Hezekiah, same kind of person, very savvy business people, and really do appreciate everything they poured into my life. And then my beautiful mother helped start a Head Start program in Northern California and helped win the Little League Championship of the universe. Really do appreciate that as I give my mama some praise. Always saying rise and shine. No matter what you do, you just always rise and you always shine. On my father's side of the family, the matriarch of the family is Alberta Curry. She was helped my grandfather start 2 service stations in Oakland, California, and 2 churches, as well as build a 3rd church in Central California. And then my grandfather, Albert Curry, again started 2 churches in Northern California, in Oakland, California, as well as 2 service stations, and built a 3rd one in Central California. And then my father, he was a retired Air Force fighter pilot and chief mechanic, made sure that planes could fly high so that we could be safe when we sleep. And that is all friend level. And my beautiful brother Todd, with that bombastic voice, welcome to the show. That's where a lot of that comes from. Really do appreciate that. And then my beautiful son Malcolm, who sends me a lot of NBA stats. And he's all over it, has a really good knowledge of NBA basketball as well as college basketball. And then my beautiful daughter, Daisy, the best daughter in the history of the universe, would send me events that college coaches would come to the West Coast. She would help me set up for the events. And then Big C, with his wealth of knowledge, we as guys appreciate all the great research that's going into Big C Sports. And my brother Todd, of course, saying always rise and shine. I really love it when I start off Big C Sports and saying, let's get ready to rumble. As we nominated Big C Sports Podcast. Really do appreciate that. As I do, Big C Sports, no scripts, no three-way teleprompters, and then there's no producer in my ear. I only do the show with a lot of knowledge that I gain from reading in my history of sports over the years. And so that's what I love bringing into the show. I remember just when I started out doing this back in 1996 and working with Fox Sports and ESPN and NBC and CBS Sports and being able to do a lot of great things in the world of sports that I love very much. And so I love giving all the people that helped me back in the past some praise. Really do love that. Doing sports podcasts is amazing. And that's why I produce, I direct the topics, I broadcast the show. I do all the sound effects with the show, Big C Sports Podcast, outside of what the agency gives me. I do that as well as I can. And then I do the commercials. I provide the stats, the storytelling, and the play-by-play like Steph Curry. You see, I mean, last night he was amazing. Steph Curry 4-3. Sometimes my producer's a little bit slow. Hitting on the podcast button. It's all fair in love and war. But then I upload the show to 18 multiple podcasts all over the world. In fact, the agency out of New York does it. And then I've never missed a show since starting Big C Sports, September the 12th, 2015, with Salem Media. And I really do appreciate that because oftentimes people don't recognize how hard you work to put into things. It's all fair and level. We're really looking forward to that multi-million-dollar funding package that's coming for Big C Sports Podcast, all fair and level. I really do love what I'm doing with Big C Sports. You know, I really want to say I always pay homage to God. I mean, everybody has their own beliefs in God, but I love Genesis 13:15. It says, for all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever. And the book of James 4:2 said, we have not because we ask not. So if you want something, just ask. And oftentimes your dreams can come true, but you got to ask and make it happen. Don't worry about the doubters in your life. I love paying homage to our military veterans. It was beautiful if you could see it from, it was Levi Stadium, San Francisco, Santa Clara on Monday Night Football, where the Rams were beaten by the 49ers. It was 31-10. Them's golden, them they're huge. You hear a lot about that. But they had a flyover, and they had the flag over the stadium from end zone to end zone and sideline to sideline. If you know any veterans going through crisis, there is a Veterans Crisis Hotline. It goes for civilians as well, 800-273-8255, or you can text 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. You can definitely get some help for our veterans and their loved ones. Give them some praise. Give our veterans some praise, and especially our first responders some praise. Also, very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Ubers. They even cover a lot of sports teams, as well as saying thank you to Xfinity Comcast TV and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, God said, let there be light. Turn the lights on. It's all fair in love and war. So all around the world with Big C Sports Podcast, our goal is simple. Looking to recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers to help them put people back to work, to do business. And you can go to valleyhomesweekly.com on the TV site. And then pay attention to the nationalrealestatepost.com as well as mortgagedailynews.com. You'll find out a lot about what's going on in the world of mortgages. Or you can simply call 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624 and get some information on what's going on in real estate. All's fair in love and war. My goodness, there's a lot of good things going on in sports. Steph Curry did his thing all across the country and really had to put on a show in Brooklyn last night. Want to say hello to DC Lyris from New York, who always hosts part of Black Business Sports Network. Really appreciate her reaching out to me, too. I want to say thank you to Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% honest game. Sports fans, when you're watching the big game, eat it with the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all those exotic meats? Everybody has exotic meats. I had a hamburger last night, and man, I still feel it. Maybe it was too much. It was a tasty burger. It was definitely a tasty burger. People go through thick and thin. It's all fair in love and war. You know, the amazing thing about the sports is keeps your mind off of things that go on in life. Every time people have coming up on the holidays, I've run into quite a few people. They have their own issues in communicating. If you put things in writing, that way you get more clear about things when you put things in writing. So that helps any family that's going through drama. I know a lot of families going through a lot of drama, and people should love each other, but sometimes people choose not to, and that's okay too. But if you really love each other, put stuff in writing, and that way you make things happy for the future generation to come. Nothing's easy. It's all fair in love and war. I'm going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. And when I come back, I'm going to talk about something that's going on in the world of the NBA basketball universe. In the words of the former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we're back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 18 podcast applications all over the universe and 4 TV applications. It's all fair love and war. You know, basketball, they say, let's get ready to rumble. Of course they do. But the Golden State Warriors, it's like every time Steph Curry shoots a three, it's like a lightning bolt goes off. And even in Brooklyn, could you imagine at the Barclays Center, he got a standing ovation. They were chanting his name. You want to see him do his thing. And he's just an amazing basketball player. He's put in a lot of work. His father and his mother raised him right, stuck together through thick and thin at times. And, of course, they, too, have had their own challenges, as a lot of people go through things. But I want to touch on the NBA schedule tonight, and then I want to get in to Steph Curry and what he's done to the world of NBA basketball. Tonight's schedule, Wednesday, November the 17th. Washington is at Charlotte. The game's already underway, tipped off Indiana there at Detroit. The Detroit Bad Boys are Detroit Bad Boys, no longer the Detroit Bad Boys. The Boston Celtics in Atlanta at a 4:30 p.m. tip-off already underway. The Boston Celtics, the Atlanta Hawks. Cleveland, this is for you. Cleveland is at Brooklyn. Tip-off already happened at 4:30. Might be a rebound game for the Brooklyn Nets. Man, they really got it handed to them last night, but Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors play basketball like a team. New Orleans Pelicans at the Miami Heat. That game already tipped off underway at 4:30 p.m. And then Orlando, the Magic are at the Madison Square Garden in New York City, 4:30 p.m. tip-off with the New York Nets. My goodness, the Lakers. Something about the Lakers. They got to find a way to be consistent. They're at the defending world champions, current reigning world champions, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Lakers are the former world champion, Los Angeles Lakers, now the defending reigning NBA champions, Milwaukee Bucks, 4:30 p.m. tip-off. That game's on ESPN. Sacramento Kings trying to get their groove back. They're at the Minnesota Timberwolves. That game tipped off at 5 o'clock p.m. Houston at Oklahoma City, and the Thunder, sometime they can sneak up and beat people when that Thunder roars through an arena. They can step up and upset a team every now and then. Don't know who that would be an upset or not. Houston and OKC. Dallas, Luka Doncic has a hitch in his giddy up. They're down in the Valley of the Suns taking on the Phoenix Suns, and then Chicago. What a resurgent renaissance team this year for the Chicago Bulls. They're up in the great Pacific Northwest taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. Give them all praise. Give them all praise, praise, praise. Love NBA basketball. And may the best teams win. It's all fair and level war. When you think about the best teams winning in NBA basketball, there's some people. Steph Curry, he's such a phenomenal athlete. I love his last name, Curry. I think he has the best last name in the history of the universe. Give that some praise. I just wish I could shoot a basketball like him. All fair and level war. Having the $200 million wouldn't hurt either. Really would rather have that than the three-point shot. But you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody with anything bad to say about Steph Curry. He's an amazing. And when you think about it, dropping 37 points last night in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. We open up with Big C Sports, the NBA draft, the Barclays Centers with the help of DC Livers from Black Sports Network. But I just want people to think about it. It doesn't matter what Steph Curry does. They had a 117-99 win over the Brooklyn Nets, and I thought Brooklyn would play a lot better than they played last night. But Golden State they play team basketball where they actually run around the court, and they pass the ball around. They always keep moving. Draymond Green is a solid basketball player for the Golden State Warriors. Andre Iguodala, just having him in the saddle doing things too. But I think about Steph Curry. No matter what he does, there are a couple of reporters and media that don't really want to give him credit. 3-time NBA champion, the only unanimous NBA MVP, the only unanimous. Think about this. There are some media people, and I'm not going to put out their names, but they tweeted out, you can Google about who they are, the Warriors and Nets game, that Curry really would not have 3 championships without Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant disagrees. They played well together as Golden State, but that's what media does. Sometimes people just don't get along, and they want to go against the current, and that's understandable, too. That sometimes people pay attention to that. But when you think about how good Curry's been, is his legacy in doubt? His legacy is not in doubt at all. He's never been in any kind of trouble. He came out of Davidson. He was a little bit smaller. As you can look at his physique now, he's put some time in the weight room, lifting weights and doing the right thing. But when you think about it, the Warriors, they play smart basketball. You got to credit Steve Kerr. And I know Steve Nash has the head coaching job for the Brooklyn Nets, but they're not even a match when it came to Golden State's prowess. And then the Warriors completely controlled the game throughout the second half, and people started chatting. I don't really pay a lot of attention to social media, but when you think about it, there are people who question whether he would have 3 championships out of 5. They lost 2 if they did not have Durant. And I say they probably would. They had one without Durant. The question is, would Durant have a championship without Steph Curry? That's the main thing that I look at. The Warriors were leading by 22 points going into the fourth quarter. And then Steve Nash, he pulled Kevin Durant and James Harden, put them on the bench for the rest of the game. Now Curry, he played another 6 plus minutes in that final period, but he hadn't played a lot going up into it in the first 3 quarters. So obviously, they got to find their rhythm. And that's what I love about Golden State and Coach Kerr. They're going to find their rhythm. It's not about taking your foot off the gas, but finding their rhythm and keeping their rhythm. So for people who think that Steph Curry would not have the 3 championships had it not been for Durant, I think if you look at it, Durant wouldn't have those 2 championships had it not been for Curry. He's had his chance with Oklahoma City Thunder and had his chance right now with Brooklyn. It's still writing on the wall. It's still a young season. But they don't have Kyrie Irving either, which I think that's going to hurt for the Brooklyn Nets. I was saying when the NBA decided they were not going to let James Harden do the arm check where he would take the basketball and then roll it up under the defender's arms and flop back like he got hit, and they were calling that a foul. They're not calling that a foul anymore. So James Harden, he's a solid player. Came out of Artesia High School in Southern California by way of Arizona State. He's been a consistent basketball player, whether he was at OKC and then Houston, and now what he's doing in Brooklyn. But they got to stay healthy, and they need Kyrie Irving to come back. I don't know if he's ever going to join the team again, but that's the thing that I saw last night. Brooklyn, a phenomenal basketball team. Durant's an amazing player, and you can give them praise. They all deserve some praise. There's only going to be one NBA championship handed out. Last year they handed out one. Milwaukee got that. The year before that they handed out one, and the Lakers got that. So there are always going to be people that want to compare Curry and say, well, he's not as good as Michael Jordan, or he's not as good as LeBron James, or he's not as good as whomever. But this guy, as a three-point shooter, people get mystified by his three-point shooting ability. But what I've liked about Curry since he came out of Davidson, and again, had some ankle problems when he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors, this guy runs around the court. He's always looking for the open pass. If he doesn't get the open pass, he's looking to distribute the ball. He plays defense. So if you find a spot on the floor, I mean, Magic Johnson played every possession in a playoff game in the past. Steph Curry's not going to do that. But when you think about it, I think Steph Curry is such a good guy image that people don't like that. They want him to have an edge around him. Dennis Rodman had an edge around him. You know, Lambeer had an edge around him. That's the Detroit Bad Boys, though. But there were players that played with an edge. Kobe Bryant played with an edge. Michael Jordan played with an edge. Steph Curry has that fire in him, too. But he's so smooth and doing the little things that you got to do in order to be a great player all around. So I really feel that when you look at Steph Curry, there will always be some media people that will go against the current, and they want to find out if they can get traction. And they do, but I'm not going to give any names. But I have heard some of the rumblings also. Oh, he couldn't do it is if he wasn't with Durant when they were running with Golden State. Some people question why is Steph Curry still out there on the floor doing a blowout in Harden, and then KD were sitting down on the bench. But when you think about why Golden State wins, they focus on what they can do. They're not focused on what another team does. You got to get your playing minutes. Even LeBron James, he's out with an injury, abdominal strain. And there are times when people complain when athletes don't play. They say play through the pain. And there are times when they say, oh, they're playing too much. There's a blowout. Take them out, put them on the bench. But what people cannot dispute is that Steph Curry in my opinion, and everybody has their own, he's one of the most mobile players in basketball. You can say hard is working, but everybody works hard. But he's mobile. When you watch him on the court, he's always running around the court. He's always trying to get his team in position for another basket, always running the offense. And that's what I love about him. That's why I give him praise. I think he's one of the greatest basketball players, at least, and I've seen. And the 75 NBA great 75 players, you got to put Steph Curry up there also. Not everybody's going to like him. They don't have to like him. You just have to keep playing. Not everybody's going to like you. Go through life trying to make everybody like you. It's not going to happen. Sometimes people just don't like you because they don't want to. It's all fair and love and war. But you got to like you. If you like it, you got a chance. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. We're going to come back and talk about the NBA Power Rankings on the Big C Sports Podcast.